Welcome into DC Sports Live. That's Brian Mitchell. I'm Nick Ashew, and I'm totally going to call B-Mitch out on something here. But we were out in the newsroom before the show started, and somebody was watching The Bachelorette.
Yeah.
And he looks over and he goes, "Pfft," and then proceeds to get up, pull a chair over to watch the rest of the show, and knew all the stuff going on. It was incredible.
I have 3 daughters at home,
I know,
and they watch it, and they make me watch with them. Like, walk in the house and watching TV, and they go, oh, we want to watch this.
The look of just pure disgust about the show, but then you pulled up a chair to watch it.
I don't like the one guy. I don't like him. So,
Yeah,
you know,
I guess he was getting kicked off or something.
Get off for the night.
The only thing I know about it is the stuff I see on Twitter. It's the dumbest show of all time, but that's fine.
Yeah, most of them are dumb. But, you know.
All right, before we get into 3, 2, 1 and talk more about The Bachelorette, which we will not do, here's a sneak peek at some of the stories trending over at NBCSportsWashington.com. Alex Smith takes the next step in his recovery by getting that external fixator robot scary thing off of his leg, which is great because that thing was huge. Our Redskins crew also takes a look at the biggest questions at each position heading into training camp. Today they focus on the front 7. There's also growing concern around the Nationals about the amount of innings Sean Doolittle's been pitching. Spoiler alert, it's too many. It also was dropping Velocity Plus at Amazon Prime Day. We'll tell you the best DC sports gear to get online. All right, let's get into 3, 2, 1, and we'll start with number 3, and it just happens to be the end of Summer League, which I guess at this point, B-Mitch, the way I look at it is it's drunk goggles for sports fans because, man, they love to get real excited over what guys do in Summer League. I'll say this, Hachimura played well.
Yes, he did.
19-7, shot 50% from the field. I loved what I saw from him. I think he's going to be a very good player in the NBA, but I try my best to not overreact in either direction with Summer League because far too often we've seen dudes that are really good in Summer League that can't do anything in the NBA. And if you know the name Nikolaos Skidishvili, look it up because he averaged 4 points a game in the NBA, 26 points a game in the and then 4.
But the thing about it, if someone does well, you like that. And if they could come to the season and build on it, you know, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
If somebody plays absolutely awful in the Summer League, you want to react to that a little bit because when you see them finally come in and play with the better guys, the better players in the NBA, then you have something to worry about. But you look at Hachimura, he played well in college. He played well in the Summer League. And I just think he's going to be that guy where he may not be an all-star or a superstar, but he's going to be a solid player, a glue guy that keeps your team together.
I think he ends up being like a 12-6 guy in the NBA, which is great. The guy he can stretch the floor and he can get some rebounds for them, be a great locker room guy. By all accounts, he's got a great work ethic from what we've like. The tools are there for him to be somebody that's really important to this team. But you know, to go back and remind everybody that last year Trae Young was horrible in Summer League and ended up having a really good rookie year. So like it happens, and you look at like Mo Wagner, who did not play well at all. He shot 31%. Only averaged 10 points a game. Now, he's not getting consistent minutes. I understand that guys lose a rhythm in Summer League. It's not the same thing. But he's somebody that actually is going to be important for the Wizards, Mo Wagner, because they brought him in to stretch the floor as well. They added these shooters to this team, so he's going to have to be able to find his shot once you start getting into training camp and the preseason and things like that.
He has to be more consistent. Yeah. That's just the whole thing. He's a guy who comes into the league that can shoot. And he hasn't looked like that. Yeah. So you get to the league, you have better players around you, you lose a little bit of your confidence. You don't find it a little bit. I think he's sitting in that little situation right now. Yeah, look, you don't want him to lose too much confidence, and you hope that he has the same mindset of like, this is Summer League, and I need to just, you know, this isn't the same as a real NBA game. But but this is the reason why I just try to stay as level-headed with it, because there are guys in this league that are going to be playing in the Summer League. They're going to go play in the Adriatic League somewhere in like Croatia. Like the competition there at the bottom of these rosters, these guys that are never going to be in the NBA. So you have to learn as a fan to temper your expectations with this on both sides, because I also don't want to see expectations get put too high on Hachimura. Like, I don't want to see Wizards fans look at him like he's going to be the savior, especially his rookie year. There will be times where he struggles. He's a rookie, adjusting to the NBA. It's just the way that it is. Like, look, Zion Williamson's going to have his struggles. He's going to struggle. He's going to struggle a lot. But I think ultimately the NBA is getting exactly what they want out of it. They want people to start having that hype. Because what it does, it gets you ready for the season. More eyes get onto the season. And like you're right, some of the guys in the Summer League, we won't see them for a long time. No. You know, they're about to disappear. You know, that's basically what's going to happen. But they want to get your excitement level up, and I think they've done a great job.
Oh, the NBA's done a great job of making this a year-round thing now, and I love the fact that Summer League is more popular. But that being said, let's woo-saw a little bit and give them a little more time. All right, moving on to number 2. Speaking of the Wizards, reports out there that Bradley Beal will be offered an extension. The Washington Post put out a long article that essentially said there were people around the NBA that were talking at Summer League that think he's gone and that he won't sign the extension. We won't know until the end of the month when he's eligible to sign another extension with the team. But I'm going to tell you this right now, B. Mitch, if you're the Wizards, this is what you do. And I was talking about this on radio over the weekend, too. And people get so mad at this topic, which is why we have to keep having the conversation. You offer him the extension. If he takes it, good, you keep him. Obviously, he's a guy you want to build around. But if he says, no, I'm going to go test free agency, you have to move him. Because you don't want to end up like one of these teams that loses your star for absolutely nothing. And this is what fans don't understand. And they have to have this, you have to have this moment where you just look in the mirror as a Wizards fan and understand that you have to think big picture with this. If Bradley Beal does not want to sign this extension, you want to handle it the way the Thunder did. And you know what the Thunder did? The minute they even heard whispers of a trade request, which came, I guess, very quickly, and nobody knew it was going to happen with Paul George, and then Russell Westbrook, and they said, we're going to get out ahead of this. They got max return that they could get, and they said, this is better than losing these guys for nothing. Now, those are different situations because clearly they were under contract for a while, which makes it even more difficult for the Wizards because you have 2 more years left with Bradley Beal, which means his stock is high for other teams now. You don't want to risk losing him for nothing.
Well, I totally agree with you. I think if you're not going to get him to sign, I say nothing happens until then. When they make this offer to him, if he signs, hey, everything's good. If he doesn't, you have to be concerned about it at that moment. And I think at that point, but I'm starting to notice little things already. Every time somebody signs a deal, every time there's a major trade, and these 2 guys are going to another team, the first comment is from Bradley Beal.
Yes.
So he's focused on that stuff. He's seeing what's happening around, and he doesn't want to get stuck. You know, you're looking at John and Brad together. Well, John won't be around for a whole year. And when he comes back, will he be able to be that guy who helped Brad get to what Brad wants? So if the Wizards keep saying we're not going to rebuild, you may have to at one point. And I think they're going to have to get to the point where they have finally get something for him. Look at Oklahoma City now. What, 7, 8 first-rounders? They're going to be able to build a team from that.
15 first-rounders and pick swaps over the next 6 years.
That's crazy.
15 because of those trades they made. And look, I know you have to be able to identify that talent if you have those picks, but Tommy Shepard has done a good job of already retooling this roster the way that they've gone. And I have full confidence that if he's the guy running this team moving forward, that he's going to be able to do that. But it just needs to be understood that you can't just throw this blanket statement out there that people like to do and say, no, he's the guy you build around. You don't get rid of a guy that's just entering his prime, but you may not have a choice. And that's the issue. The Thunder got out ahead of the problem. You don't want to be like the Pelicans. I know it ended up working out for them in the sense they got the #1 pick, they got some good stuff in return, but you don't want to end up like the Pelicans where you have this swirling around the team. And listen, if you're Bradley Beal, and let's say this team just struggles this year, they try not to say they're rebuilding, but they're at least retooling bare minimum.
They're rebuilding.
He's going to look at this, look around and say, I'm in my prime right now. What if he doesn't want to go through this? Then it becomes a snowball effect, and there's more issues with this. And you get to the point then where this is public. And then, 1, you can't trade him for as much because teams know that your feet are against the fire. But also, 2, you have this looming over the franchise, and you don't want that. You have to get out ahead of that.
On top of it, he hears his name in the Clippers rumors. Hear his name in the Heat rumors. You start looking around and say, which situation is best? If he was with the Heat right now, better situation. If he was with the Clippers, much better situation. And he's going to start figuring out about it comes down when they make the offer. If he signs, we're good. If he doesn't, start looking.
And listen, I know John Wall and Bradley Beal don't like to recruit players, but the NBA is players recruiting other players. And if they want to stick around, which you hope they do, but you're going to have to go and you're going to have to recruit players. That's just the way the league works.
They're going to recruit or get recruited.
It's one or the other. And they're getting recruited. He's definitely getting recruited. All right, moving on to number 1, Alex Ovechkin. This was a big topic today, actually, at NBCSportsWashington.com. Whether or not Alex Ovechkin, entering in his age 34 season, can have another 50-goal season. And this is one of those things where you almost look at Tom Brady, right? Where it's, everybody keeps writing off Tom Brady, and then he keeps on having great seasons into his 40s now. I don't see him doing it this year. The oldest player ever to score 50 goals in a season was 36 years old. Ovi's going to be 34, but if he has 42 goals, that's still a really good year. And he had that weird drop-off a couple of years ago where that was when people are starting to write him off. And then it's 49, 50 goals, and you go, okay, he's back. I don't see it being a 50-goal season, but again, it could be 41, 42, and it's still a really good year for him.
I believe he'll get to 50. And it may, next year may be a high 40. But I think he gets to 50 again before he's done with this thing.
So even if he's like 35, 36,
because I'm watching him now, and he seems to be just like, people normally go through this little rut, and then they find it again. Like you said earlier, he is much more stable in his life now. And all of a sudden, when you're not exerting a lot of energy outside of the sport, and all of it is on the sport, he's become a better player where he's doing multiple things, where he gets those extra goals. You know,
Right.
instead of just sitting in that one spot all the time, no, he's all over the place, and he lucks up into a goal. So I think getting those type of goals is going to get him over 50 again.
For him now, it's going to have to be just a complete focus as he continues to age. We all age. Like Father Time's undefeated.
Oh, yeah.
You got to take care of your body, nutrition, the way you work out, the way you recover. Because we know this. Look, everything changes, man, from your 20s to your 30s, where recovery's different. You have more injuries. Hangovers are way worse in your 30s than they are in their 20s. So he's got to think about all of these things, like every person into their 30s are. Yeah, it's changed. It's changed.
You don't know half of the 30.
Yeah, it's changed.
It's great in the 30s.
Yeah, it's.
I can tell you.
Yeah.
I ran past it a few years back.
Look, I think there's no question he's in line to have another really good year for this team. But it's also, too, does his role maybe change a little bit where you have other players stepping up, taking on bigger responsibilities and roles where he doesn't necessarily have to score 50 goals in an entire season for the Capitals to still be successful?
But I'll say this. If they step up and start having bigger roles, it leaves him open more. People are not focusing on him more. Early in the season, there were a lot of games where 5 people scored. 3-4 games in a row. Ovi didn't score, but he still ended up with 50. So he comes in spurts, but when other players start doing more things, they're becoming better. Now I think he can explode even more.
All right, let's squeeze one more in here. Extra points, because it has to involve the Redskins, because their offensive line is, good Lord, nothing but scary right now, because you've got Trent Williams possibly holding out, and now report out there that Brandon Scherff has had a couple of contract offers, and they are, quotes, not close at all. I'm sorry, far apart would be the right way to put this. Either one of those are scary.
Far apart, not
Either
close.
one of those are just awful.
But you know, I'm not shocked to hear that right now, because we've watched how this team has worked when it comes down to contract negotiations. You look at Brandon Scherff, yes, he was injured last year, but you know when he's healthy, he is as good as any out there. And Brandon Scherff doesn't have to take a pay cut. He can sit back and wait. He doesn't have to be forced to do anything. So until the right number comes, he's going to say, nah. And that report sounds more like it's something to make the team look good. But many offers, what were the offers? Were the offers something that was up here, right at the right spot, or were they lower? Thinking that you're going to get that discount from a player that was here. No, people don't want any discounts anymore. You can get hurt at any time. You need to get your money where you can.
No, I've always been, if I'm a player, it's all about getting as much money as I can, especially in the NFL, because one, it's not all guaranteed. He's probably not going to get Zach Martin money, which is what, like 6 for 80, 40 million was guaranteed, but he could still get 60-something million, 30 guaranteed. He's going to get $12.5 million this year with them in his final year, the option year of his rookie deal, which, listen, that he's going to get more of that on the open market. It's going to be more than $12.5 million. They got to figure this out because, like you mentioned, when he was out for those 8 games last year,
it wasn't good.
You could tell how important he was to this team. It's that absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? You're looking at there going,
they're still trying to get 18 games.
We could right. Well, by the way, that's the stupidest thing ever. Yeah. 18 games with a 16-game cap.
Come on, man.
What are we doing, NFL? Stop it.
That makes no sense.
No, that's the.
Well, I know a way they can get 18 games. Guarantee some contracts.
Yeah, and that's what I'm warning. If you do the 18 games, players get guaranteed contracts out of that. If that's the trade-off, listen, then everybody's making more money. And in the end, you follow this every single time. All right, coming up on DC Sports Live, our DC Sports Live baseball insider, Ryan Wormley, is going to join us and show us his really bad sunburn. Trust me, you want to stick around just to see how bad this is. Also, we're going to preview the Battle of the Beltways next on DC Sports Live. All right, let's take a look at Nats on deck while Brian Mitchell accosts everybody behind the scenes here and bullies everybody, because that's who he is. A bye week against the Orioles. Just kidding. The Orioles still play baseball. 2 games against them, of course, then 4. That's the big one. 4 games against the Braves. Let's keep in mind the Nationals play the Braves 7 times this month. There is no better way to cut into a division lead than playing the team that's ahead of you 7 times in 1 month. And the helpful thing is we have Ryan the Face Wormley with us. We just take the schedule off. We have to do this. Please zoom into his face. So, listen, I came into the office today, and the first thing I get told is, have you seen Worm's face? And I was like, what's wrong? What? Oh, man. I mean, what did you do? Look at this.
He looks like that, doesn't he?
We will get into more detail later on in the segment about what exactly I did.
Well, not wear sunscreen is the first answer.
Okay, well, I wore a lot of sunscreen.
Did you?
I sweat it all off.
Get the kind that doesn't sweat.
I put 4 layers of SPF 50 on. That's 200 SPF, and it didn't do anything.
Yeah, apparently not.
You
didn't do it
were out
right.
in the sun too soon.
I tried my best.
Would you put it on after you were sweating
He was
already?
trying to be like this.
That's exactly.
You keep that. That's for you.
I have no real excuse, frankly.
You don't really have much of an excuse.
There's nothing I can say.
Take that home with you.
The best part is we wouldn't let him go into makeup and get it done either. It was like, no,
She
this has to show up.
Kim said she
started
could
to
fix
flake. He
it,
started
and
flaking.
it was vetoed.
Yeah, we didn't allow
But
that
it
to
started
happen.
flaking when she touched it.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, the Nats took 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. Obviously important, but not as important with the Braves coming up. But still, division rival. They need to just win baseball games as they continue. Because right now, they've got the best record in baseball since May.
Yeah, if you're a Nats fan, it's really nice to see that they are able to continue playing well despite, in theory, losing the momentum of that All-Star break. They were, as you said, the best team in baseball going into the All-Star break. It'd be very easy to lose that momentum. They came out, took 2 of 3 on the road against a division rival, and a lot of those games they were winning before that were against teams that were frankly not very good. The Phillies, while they have been struggling, are still a pretty good ball club, so to take the 2 out of 3 from them was definitely impressive. To me, the bigger storyline coming out of the weekend, though, is Max Scherzer now being on the 10-day IL. He's told reporters that it's not a big concern. It shouldn't be something that fans worry about. But in all seriousness, if a 35-year-old pitcher is on the IL, I'm going to be concerned.
But anytime we have anybody hurt at the Nats, we're concerned.
Yes.
Because every time they say it's not that bad, it ends up being worse than that. So it's a problem.
It's like the same thing with the Redskins. Like Nats and Redskins fans go through the same thing where anybody has the tiniest little injury, like Darius Geis' hamstring, and all of a sudden it's panic. Everybody's running in the streets panicking because we have this history over the last couple of years for both teams, and really just to start the year for the Nationals too.
And of all the people that you would not want to get hurt for the Nationals, it's Max Scherzer, number 1 with the bullet. And not only is he the best player on the team, he had been playing at maybe his career best level in the last month.
Fantastic man.
Yeah.
But they're going to be playing the Orioles. What can we expect from that?
You can probably expect 2 wins. If the Nationals don't sweep the Orioles in this 2-game set, it is a massive disappointment. The Orioles, of their 2 starting pitchers they're throwing out there, the one with the best career ERA is 6.49. They are not good at baseball.
We can get hit
There are
on
very few people on this team that should scare the Nationals. One player is Trey Mancini, who has been really good this season, a true breakout. He's cut his strikeout rate. He's walking more. He's hitting the ball in the air more. It's led to a career-high pace for home runs. So he is one guy that could potentially scare the Nationals. But in all reality, this is a series that they absolutely should sweep, no doubt about it.
So what you're saying is if they even come close in these games, everybody should be fired and traded.
Yes.
There you go. That's what I want to hear from you.
It's as simple as that.
That's the hottest hot take you could have. It's hotter than the red face that you have right now, which is exactly what we're looking for, is just that. By the way, we do establish that it is Battle of the Beltways and not Beltway.
There's more than one Beltway.
Yeah, I want to make sure that we get that out there because far too often people say Beltway. And
it's an easy mistake to make. And I will also point out that Wednesday night is Dollar Hot Dog Night. So if you want to go out and eat a bunch of hot dogs,
there's that.
I've done that for Bowie games before, not at Camden Yards, so I might be doing
What's
that.
the most you've eaten?
At Bowie, Joey Sabat, a producer here, and I did a hot dog eating contest, and we both tapped that at around 8 or 9.
Oh, God, I couldn't do more than like 3. That's still...
I don't think I can ever get close to that again.
What do you think of this whole stealing first thing they're trying in the minors?
Makes no sense, does it?
I love it.
I have thrown out a lot of wacky rule change ideas, both on the show, on the Racing Presidents podcast, in the newsroom talking. This is crazier than all of them.
I love this. Look at this. This is great.
There are so many ways you can get to first base, but stealing it is not one of them. It is crazy, ridiculous, just insane that they would try and do this.
Where would you get thrown out?
Well, what's crazy is you have to commit right away. As soon as your 2 feet leave the batter's box, it counts as an attempt, and you can't just say, oh, no, I was faking, I want to stay. You have to go. And it's not just the batters that have to remember to go right away. It's the catchers. This guy who actually did that in the clip we just saw said that he wasn't going to run. He actually stands there for a couple seconds, and then he heard the catcher ask the umpire for a new ball. The ump started reaching into his pocket to pull out a new baseball.
Wow.
And he goes, oh, this is my opportunity. They were a second away from a new ball being in play, the old one being dead.
We won't see that in the majors.
That'll never happen in the majors.
We won't see that in the majors.
Well, it's important to remember this is the independent Atlantic League. It's not actually even the minor leagues.
Right.
It's not a league affiliated with the majors. It's just more of an experimental. They're partnering with them to see if this thing could work. I don't think it will.
Nah, not working.
I'd say there's probably a better opportunity or a better chance that we have the robot umpires get to the majors than anything like this.
The robot umpires are light.
Well, what's also really weird about it,
it
it doesn't go down in the box score as a stolen base. It goes down as a fielder's choice, which hurts your average. So the batter who did this got an 0 for 1 in the box score despite getting on base. It makes no sense.
Nah, it'll never make it to the majors. It's just something that they're trying out there in the independent whatever league. Nah, it's not going to happen.
All right, last call. We're going to actually explain more as to what happened to Worm's face, and that involves, well, softball, and you're a champion. I saw you brought something in here. But first, look at this. this is footage of you champions, right?
That is us. I'm coming in from right field. That's Gary.
Good Lord, Gary. Skip
who's
is
the guy
skipping.
skipping?
That would be Skip. Skip Carter skipping.
I'm that guy in the headband, which you can tell.
Look at him. He's so happy. It's like he won the World Series.
Oh, it was it basically was the World Series of local softball leagues.
Oh, my gosh, Gary.
You love those Maryland flags.
That's your headband?
So excited.
You won number 30?
Yes, I'm number 30,
come on, man. There we go.
Well, I saw you there with a headband on, so that explains. Look at that burn.
That's at Lito's Pizza right after.
That is the face of a champion.
Right,
you know what? It was worth it. Okay, this was my first title. It was actually the 5th title that our team, the NBC Sports Washington Sports Nuts, has won in the last 8 years, but it was my first. I took a beating during the entire weekend, rolled my ankle, scraped up my leg, got the sunburn, but it was completely worth it.
I love all of this. Look at this face. I can't get over it.
He wore sunblock. Put on 4 times to have 4 games.
God dang.
But not as bad as this guy.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You didn't rub it in clearly.
Oh wait, we're taping
reactions. It's just so bad every time.
I didn't know.
Hey, take your little friend with you.
You knew once you saw this what was going to happen when you came in here, right? I'm assuming you just realized this was going to be a day where this was.
Yeah, I knew going into the weekend that I was going to be doing this segment on Monday, so I tried to be extra careful with the sunscreen, knowing that my Scandinavian heritage lends me to a little more burning than usual. It did not work clearly.
So you sure you actually wore sunscreen?
I said 4 times.
Because I don't believe you.
No.
Now, I did bring something along here.
Oh, no.
You can see me posing with it over there on the screen.
That's nice.
This is our trophy.
This is like the guy that brings his fantasy league trophy in.
Oh, this is impressive. This has got to be one of the most impressive trophies any of the 3 of us has ever won, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Beamish, do you want to try and hold it, maybe kiss it?
You ever held a trophy before?
This has got to be pretty.
My ring feels about like this.
Now, I wanted to go full Washington Capitals and go run around and play with this in the fountains around the city and maybe cut off the top here and do a couple keg stands out of it, and that was quickly shot down.
I don't think this would actually support anybody doing a keg stand on it.
No.
Probably not. These are pretty strong bats, I guess. I don't know.
Can we get that video of Gary
You gotta
skipping
take
again?
the top off.
Can I just want to see Gary skipping.
Let's see Gary.
Hey, there's a reason they call him Skip Carter.
I mean, look at this. Look how excited he is. We won! Look at us! We!
Skip.
Oh my God! I can't believe I did
But
it!
he just ran
I
right
won a
past
softball
everybody.
league championship.
He didn't dap up his friends or nothing, just by himself.
He's just
Selfish.
running to no one. He's just celebrating, and there's
What is he doing?
What are you doing? Go hug somebody at least. He's just skipping by himself. Look at this.
Skip
Look,
the
this is unbelievable. It's like, no, go hug your catcher at least. Do something, Gary. What are you doing?
And all
Skip,
seriousness,
skip.
I do want to thank Gary, the producer today, Mark Zaner, Meredith, Allen, Amac, all the guys here who came out and played. It was a ton of fun, and like I said, well worth winning the title.
Well, congratulations to you guys and Skip, and I hope that you can put some aloe on your face for him, because you're going to need it. It's probably all going to peel in a day, and we'll take more pictures of that then.